Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, September 22nd. And we're going to take a look at my 2016-2017 winter forecast, and I think it's going to be a pretty good snowy winter as it looks right now. And we'll get into the details. First of all, this is the old Farmer's Almanac forecast, and you can see a lot of mild air is forecasted across much of the nation, with the coldest air being across the far northern states dropping into the Great Lakes, but mild somewhat for the lower Great Lakes. Now I think with this blue line here, that's what I put in there, I think this is where the coldest air is going to be found, so I don't see that at all. I think this mild air is actually going to be suppressed quite a bit farther back to the southwest. I think again, Michigan is right in the epicenter all the way back to the Dakotas. I think those areas are going to see a lot of clipper systems, and also I think we're going to see a lot of Lee of the Rocky type lows develop, drop down into the central plains, and then move to the northeast, and I think that's going to put us in pretty good shape to pick up some decent snowstorms that way. I think we'll see less in the way of Texas Panhandle or Gulf storms. You know there's always going to be a couple that we'll watch, but for right now it looks like clippers and Lee of the Rocky type Colorado track storms. If we look at the next slide, you can see the NOAA's predictions for December through February, and has trended colder over the last few weeks, and I think that'll continue to do that. And they've got pretty much the same basic idea, with the warmest air forecasted to be across the southern states compared to normal, and then in this equal chance area I think we'll see some near normal conditions. We're just going to have to wait and see where that coldest air locks into, but I believe that right here in Michigan we're going to be right in the heart of the cold air compared to normal. As far as precipitation, pretty much a lot of the outlets that I've seen have the Great Lakes in a significant amount of above normal precipitation. I think with the warm air, I think we're going to continue with a very warm October and may even spill over into November. But when it turns cold, I think it's going to turn cold in a hurry, and we're going to lay down a lot of snow from lake effect. And again, we're going to keep an eye on when this cold begins to develop. When do we start to see the snowpack across Canada really build up? And I think that could happen towards the end of October, the beginning of November. But again, it's still a question mark whether we really turn cold towards the first week or two of November, or if we wait to week 3 or 4. And again, we'll certainly keep an eye on that, but I think at some point in November, that's going to be when we flip the switch almost immediately from decent weather right into deep winter type cold. As far as the next slide shows, you can see the warm waters of the El Nino now being replaced with cooler waters. This is not a La Nina yet. I see negative minus 0.5 is kind of one of the colder spots that we see here. We need to see negative 0.8 over a 3-month period before we can officially call a La Nina. And I think we could be into a season where we see mainly a negative type situation, but not quite an El Nino. And that's actually pretty good for the Great Lakes as far as snow. That usually means a pretty cold pattern. And we'll look at the next slide. We can show you some other factors. Again, we're looking at the very warm waters in the Gulf of Alaska down into the Pacific Northwest. That tends to promote upper ridging in western Canada, and of course when you get that flow around that ridge, it'll drop down into the center of the country, into the Great Lakes, and that means plenty of cold temperatures for us. And again, I think we'll see as a normal La Nina would be, again, this will be a weak or a negative neutral, but most of the warm are usually confined to the southern states. So I think a very cold and active pattern certainly is shaping up. And so my forecast is for a colder than normal winter, and of course I'm also expecting a snowier than normal winter. And if we look at some of the numbers that I've put out, Grand Rapids normal is 73, and I think they could get 85 to 90 plus. Again, the closer you are to the lake, the more differential between normal that you're going to see, and they're going to be at least I think a foot to 18 inches above normal. Wouldn't be surprised to see them go over 100 inches, but you take Lansing, 51.5 is the normal snowfall. I'm forecasting 60 to 66. Here in Breckenridge, 40 is our normal. I think we'll get close to 50 inches. Same with Saginaw, and then for Detroit, the normal is 42, and I think they'll be up around 45 to 50 inches as well. As far as temperatures go, I believe we're going to be about 1.5 to 2.5 degrees below normal per day for those 3 months. So a very cold winter coming up, and I think potentially a very snowy one as well. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great day, and 73s to all.